Hey guys, JTails here with another competitive tutorial, and this time I am joined with DireonFire.
What's up, guys?
Dire is, for those of you who don't know, a streamer, competitive player, and a very good Ganon main.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that.
So I have him here today to help me talk about Ganon, since Ganon actually does have a lot of tricky things up his sleeve, and let's get right into it. Alright, so what would you say are the first things we want to talk about with Ganondorf?
It's interesting because I think the first thing we should talk about is actually kind of the most important thing overall.
Okay.
So it's kind of like full circle. It's basically his moving options. So
Okay.
how do you want to place yourself on the stage at all times?
Alright, and what do you think is the the best way to do that?
So me personally, one of my favorite things to do is, I apologize if there's a term for this, I don't know, but I like to call it hop spacing. So it's like you move with hopping and fast falling.
Nice.
Because what this does is it lets you move back and forth at a relatively, solid pace while facing your opponent, and you can land and like down tilt or grab or land and block depending on what your opponent's doing.
Nice.
Or if you see your opponent rush in, you could double jump, and fast fall.
And kind of gain that space away from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's the most important thing I think you have to get down with Ganon is practice that. And I will go as far as to say is you might have to take it to training mode and do some drills and move around like that. Or take 4 Glory and use that as an opportunity to practice moving like that against players.
Yeah.
And just making that work. Like, it doesn't really matter whether you win the match or lose the match. Just try to implement that into your game. It looks silly, but it's actually a really good way to space with Ganon. And you can go back and forth between running and blocking. You don't just have to play like a bunny rabbit the whole time. But there's definitely a place for that kind of movement. So get that down for sure.
Okay. Nice.
That basically ties into his neutral game. And now the best thing to utilize that is, all right, what do we do out of that?
Out of just short hop and landing. And how would your opponent be reacting to that?
Exactly. So the best thing to do is know which aerials you're trying to do.
Okay. So
you could, I think you have a pretty good understanding of which aerials to use. For sure, as you can see JTails demonstrating, Ganondorf's back air and up air are some of the best moves to space and control your opponent's situation with. The whole tricky thing about that is as you can see, he hits kind of high with both of these moves.
So you have to really fall down with it to try and hit especially a short character like Meta Knight. Make
Exactly.
sure that you're fast falling it at the lowest point of the move.
But a lot of people might feel apprehensive about doing that. They might say, well, that defeats the whole purpose of the lagless aerial if I have to hit it low and endure the landing lag. The thing about his aerials is you first have to go into the match with a pre-existing understanding of number one, what character you're fighting, obviously, but what your opponent wants out of that character. If you're fighting a Sheik, you're going to know that at the very least, they're going to be doing a lot of jumping.
Yeah, short hop forward airs, short hop neutral airs, looking for a grab.
Exactly. So you have to put it into your head, it's more likely against Sheik than maybe against Little Mac that my short hop back air will actually connect as an air-to-air move.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So you have to adjust that movement and neutral play to that character. So, just some characters just might have the height, like you're fighting another Ganon or a DK or a Bowser. You can just do it willy-nilly.
Or more grounded characters like Olimar and Wii Fit Trainer.
Yeah, exactly. So
you might not want to be in the air too much.
You have to adjust to that. So it's very important. It's very important to create that pre-existing analysis of how you're gonna approach that. So basically, he's trying to say that moving like that and throwing out aerials like that is good, but it's not gonna be good against everybody.
You have to know when to do it.
Exactly.
And don't just do it the whole time because people will catch on. Diddy Kong will short hop forward air you.
Yep.
You can get punished for constantly throwing out moves without thought.
One tricky thing that I see some Ganon players do and some Ganon players don't do, and that's full hopping, down airing, and then fast falling.
Because it is lagless.
Yeah,
right?
because if you short hop into it, you can't get it.
You'll suffer lag.
So you full hop down there and then fast fall. And then, as you can see, as soon as you land, you can block. And you use that as a kind of like, I call it like a distraction method that also serves as a possible, full jump anti-air. There's certain characters that'll come in at that height, and you just might catch them with it. Like, you really just might. And if not, you fast fall, dash grab, or pivot grab. And these are the kinds of things that take your opponent off guard, because they'll see that down air, and they'll think you're vulnerable. They'll rush in, because they know that their character's low enough to not get hit by that down air, but they won't expect that pivot grab, or maybe that down tilt. Maybe they spaced themselves wrong, and they rushed in from too far. You'll be able to do that. It's a down tilt. So definitely get that full jump down air in order, because
that looks really strong. Now, what about his up smash?
Oh man, his up smash. That's like his. I think that's his bread and butter for neutral play, because as you can see, it's kind of a little wind up, but you can block pretty fast after you do the move.
All of Ganon's moves actually kill extremely early, and Ganondorf survives for quite a long time, so this is going to be your main advantage as when playing as him.
Oh, and a footnote right off of what you just said. Guys, very important mindset to implement while playing Ganon is you can't feel like taking damage means like you're losing the match. Because a lot of players, what they'll do is they're obviously you're controlling a slow character, right? They feel like they get hit a few times. Oh no, I can't play defensive anymore. I have to start rushing in. I have to get damage down.
Yeah.
And that'll happen after like a 20%, 30% lead, which, shouldn't throw you into panic mode. Basically, the way you want to play Ganon is know that the stock isn't over until you're dead. Even if you're at 100% and your opponent's at 20, Ganon can bring that back in like 3 hits.
He can 3-4 hits, and you're already back at even. You might even
one good call on a pivoted, slightly charged up smash, or anything can happen, and you just take your opponent out of guard. Trust me, I play Ganon, and it happens all the time. Opponent thinks I'm dead. I'm at 120. They're at like 40. One down tilt, one side B, and they're already ready to die.
And that's when they get really happy. They start rushing in because they're like, all right, I got this. I'm going to kill him.
And see, that exactly. And that's why I stress that the importance of maintaining your mindset in a neutral way. You can't get flustered because you're at an 80% deficit, because Ganon has the toughness to survive most of these kinds of attacks. And he has the rage to make single hits work, because rage works better with characters that pack more punch in a single hit.
Yeah.
Whereas rage is not so much important for Sheik.
Yeah, not so much.
It is on a general sense, but when you really compare Sheik to Ganon, rage is much more
relatively
for hit to hit. So you just have to, be comfortable in the fact that, like, okay, until I'm dead, this matchup, this current stock that we're playing out isn't an issue. So make sure you take that into account. Don't get flustered. Maintain your movement options, and your opponent is gonna have a hard time getting in on you. Like Ganon's actually very scared to approach when Ganon stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
So and that basically leads us into spacing, because for aerials we covered that, and back air we covered how to use down air. Actually, let's talk a little bit about forward air before we jump right into it.
Okay.
This new mechanic change, me and Julian were actually talking about this beforehand. This new mechanic change with the shield adds more stun. So now the forward air is less punishable on shield. So what you want to do, the way you want to use this is you want to use it fading away. Okay. Because if you jump into the opponent, the stun that move creates kind of gets nullified by the fact that you're placing yourself in their grab range. But if you fade back with it, like I'm gonna full jump, fade back with the forward air, I want you to block before I land, and then try to punish.
Okay.
There's not really, honestly, even Sheik's dash attack or dash grab wouldn't have worked there. I've tested this out. Fade back forward air on shield is not they can't do anything about that. So it's something that you might want to throw out occasionally.
Because if you miss, they can still punish you after the fact.
Yeah, they'll do whatever they want to you.
On shield, it's really good. So if you anticipate your opponent coming in and blocking, then it's a really good option.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ganon, like non-aerials, speaking non-aerials, what do you think he should be doing with spacing?
I think he should be, moving around a lot, short hopping, and faking people out as if you're going to throw out a back air and then come in and grab, because they have to block.
Yes, and that's called the Tomahawk Grab, right?
Yep, tomahawks. You just empty jump into your opponent and then you just grab them.
Because you prey upon the fact that you think that you can react to someone not doing an aerial and grabbing, but in the heat of battle, and you're tunnel visioning and you're focused and you're nervous and all these different factors play into hand, you can easily set that, condition your opponent to set that up for himself.
Yeah.
Where he just does not see that coming.
His down tilt is also very good for horizontal grounded spacing. If someone whiffs anything, down tilt is just a great move to use. In general, it's one of his longest range moves that comes out fast. It's a good bait tool. It's just all around.
Yeah,
it's a solid option.
Really long range. I'm gonna talk a little bit about dash tag. Look at that range. You can like realistically space that to the point where most of the time you're getting the tip, and players can't really punish that if they block that. On top of, again, referencing that whole shield stun, extra shield stun, that just plays into Ganon perfectly. So basically now's the time to play Ganon if you want to pick him up.
Oh yeah.
Because blocking Ganon is not fun, like no matter what you block. So Julian is definitely right. Use that down tilt.
And what does down tilt set up into?
At low percent, you can kind of get like you can get down tilt into side B, because you see how you jump to avoid it. Most players probably just won't mash jump after getting hit.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of Ganon's follow-up. So they're gonna land and probably wait, and that's the time you can throw that out. And hitting that once puts that into your opponent's brain, and now the next time you do that, don't do it. Empty jump, dash grab, or maybe down tilt into neutral air. Do stuff like that, and just make sure that you don't make yourself predictable. But that definitely leads into having the opponent be above Ganon, and that's kind of where you want people to be.
Where you want them to be, because that leads up for up airs, forward airs, back airs, you name it.
So I think maybe about 120.
Okay.
Might be able to kill. Yeah.
Wow. But what about the end? Does it kill earlier?
That I'm not too sure. I think it might still do the same. It might hit them away. No, So it operates the same way. So that's something that like opens up a different channel of play for you, and that's kind of what you have to do in general with any kind of character. But more importantly with Ganon is kind of use the percent that your opponent's at as like a time lock for certain strategies.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go down tilt crazy at maybe mid-percent. Low percent, yes, because you get those low percent follow-ups. Then when you dip into mid-range, it kind of, brings you to a point where you might not get much out of the down tilt.
Yeah.
Once you hit back to this range, you can bring it back and say, all right, now this down tilt will kill for sure, especially if I have like 100% of rage myself. And if you have your perfect pivots, you can do that. You would have to set your tilt to your C-stick to tilt, but you can perfect pivot down tilt if you're one of those technical players who want to learn that. That's a definite way to make your opponent even more scared about approaching you. If you have perfect pivots down, your Ganon is going to be even scarier. So for sure, add that into your movement neutral game. Pivoting his forward tilt is actually a decent way to space your opponent. But the way you want to do it is you want to space them coming in on you from the air. Typically doing that when someone rushes in with a dash grab is kind of scary, especially if they've been dashing for a while so that they have their block. They can just block it and then dash grab because it's actually not that safe. But if you see someone jump in on you, pivot tilt is actually really solid.
And you just want to practice this since the pivot F tilt is a really good tool for Ganondorf. So make sure your character is dashing, and then you hit the opposite direction on the joystick and just press A. Not at the same time though.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. Let's go into some of his grabs, shall we?
Oh yes, absolutely.
So what grab do you find yourself using most at low percent with Ganondorf? What's the go-to for racking up damage or even setting up for something at 0?
Well, go-to is down throw. That's 7%, which is relatively solid for a throw.
Yeah.
It does set up into certain things, but you have to be mindful that more experienced players will DI out. And
Yes.
even at 0%, you can DI out of Ganon's down throw options.
Okay.
Like, he's gonna have to really... I think you have to be frame perfect with the neutral air. They did buff his neutral air.
Oh yeah, they did.
So, at 0%, if you get that down throw that's not DI'd and they basically stay right near you, short hop forward and neutral air.
Wow, yeah.
From 8 to 37, so that's 29%.
That's huge. That's already 1/3 of the stocks for the most part. Because Ganon kills at about 100.
For a single little mistake of not DIing right.
Yeah.
And, of course you tie everything in, like your spacing, jumping, they make a bad move, pivot grab, down throw real quick, don't pummel. Don't pummel until they're at high percent.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you cast that throw by surprise and, bypass their DI and then get that quick neutral air. Now you're up almost 30%. And
they have to find a place to land.
Yeah, because you just hit them with that. Side B, if he avoided that because he's Meta Knight, he has multiple jumps.
Yeah.
But you saw how he used his second jump there? And most characters probably would have landed and it might have landed right into that side B, and then a side B, and then a down tilt. Now they're at 62, and Ganondorf can very, very realistically create these situations where, like, wow, did I really just take 60% in like 8 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening in this match?
I got hit 3 times, and look, I'm already almost dead. And that really gets into people's head. Ganondorf is a very psychological character,
Very.
So you have to know what your opponent is feeling, and especially with Ganondorf's huge power, it's going to be like, once they're at 100, they're going to be in their shield, they're going to be rolling like
they're gonna
frantically.
Be so careful fighting you, like at 100%,
and that's what you want. That's
yes,
when you win.
You have to prey upon that. But that's the thing. That's why I consider Ganon an expert character, because you would think that a character with no like real technical tricks, like like any kind of glide toss or like movement slide cancel or anything crazy like that, you would think that he's not very technical, but he's actually technical on a mental level, and that's basically what Julian references: understanding your opponent's emotions, what they want, what playstyle they're using at the moment. Because actually, this is probably something I should have mentioned to begin with. You want to play him in a very baiting / reactive way.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's pretty obvious that establishing your own offense as Ganondorf, not very easy, especially if you're fighting a very quick character like Meta Knight or Sheik. More often than not, you're going to fight a good player. He's just going to wait for you to do something, shield it, or spot dodge, roll, and then dash grab, punish you, and you're going to feel like, wow, I can't use this character, I can't do anything. Well, that's because you're playing him wrong.
Yeah.
You have to play him using everything that so far we've covered, which is, waiting for your opponent to do something and pivot grab, space with down tilt, catch a momentary lapse of judgment or hesitation. Now's my time to side B. React to the lack of tech, down tilt, or just throw out a like if you try to tech and roll away.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, I meant to do side B. If you do that.
Whoa. Whoops. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could use that move to just do that.
Yeah.
Because if it misses, at the very least, you'll be out of the way. So you can choose to do stuff like that.
Or you can go for another side B.
Yep. You do have enough time for that grab buffer to wear away.
And then depending on what other options they choose.
Yep.
Like if I do get up attack, you can shield it and I think forward tilt me.
Okay, let's see.
Yep.
So you can bait that.
Yeah. So definitely, once you get that side B, that's your time to shine. It becomes a guessing game. Whether they're gonna roll. Whether they're not gonna tech, they are gonna tech. They're gonna do get up attack, roll left, roll right, or get up in place, which is more common at higher level and less common on For Glory.
One quick thing, very important. You see the side B into down tilt?
Yes.
Untech'd. You see how it hits Meta Knight?
Yeah.
It does not work against every character.
Take a mental note, and when you side beat and down tilt, it doesn't work on all the characters. So whenever it doesn't work, be like, all right, so I can't do that against, Rosalina, for example. I can't do that against Diddy, for example.
There's something I wanted to mention about grabs, and that's if you look at percentages, the differences in each grab. my down throw does 7, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a certain percentage that you cross against your opponent where you're pretty much never gonna be able to get something out of down throw. You need to be able to find where that point is and start
using back throw or up throw.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get that 30% forward throw.
Wow.
A lot more percent. Up throw, in case you want to have them above you. Like if they're at, if they're at like 60 and I down throw and they DI, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
But up throw at the very least puts them right above you. So you get that extra 3% and then you can get a possible, extra hit if if you prowl the right way.
Yeah.
Whereas down throw both throws them up and away from you, so you get nothing out of it.
Yeah, that
so
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, get those forward and back throws, man. 10 is not that bad. Back throw is kind of like the least one you want to do because you're losing both positioning and damage. Whereas forward throw, 13.
13, yeah, that's huge. That's 1/10 of a stock, guys.
Yeah, so if you land just a few of those, especially if you again if you know that you're not gonna get anything, remember to pummel once and forward throw.
16.
So you just got that 13% throw with the 3% pummel, 16%, and your opponent's pretty much not gonna be able to mash unless they're really high level, like a high level masher. They're gonna be able to get out of that single pummel. Definitely get that pummel into fourth throw. That 16% goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we could talk about kill options at this point.
Yeah, kill options.
What are the moves that you're gonna want to start landing as Ganon to kill, as far as smashes, tilts, and aerials?
All right, so let's bring them to I'll say 90. 90 is kind of fair to account for lack of rage in training mode. Again, forward tilt is gonna be one of your go-to kills, but you don't want to hit them in a way where I like to call east to west or west to east.
Ah, so that's being on this side and
forward tilting them this way.
Yeah, it will not kill. You just stalled the move
for no reason.
You're out of position to kill. Whereas doing it over here,
yeah, you might kill them. If I was a little closer, I would have killed. Probably like right at the edge, it's gonna kill. Yep. So right around that point. So that's something that again, situational awareness and threat
being
assessment.
Mindful of which way you're facing, which way, how much of the length of the stage your opponent is going to have to travel in order to meet the blast zones of the stage.
In relation to the percent that they have before you hit them.
Yep.
And this is important to master your finesse. So if let's say you're shielding in front of me, I want you to roll behind me, but I don't want you to tell me when you're gonna roll.
All right.
See, I screwed that up. I want to try and turn around and down tilt.
Ah.
Yeah, very careful movement. Try it yourself.
All right.
It's a careful movement. So I'm gonna roll at some point behind you. So I want you to face me.
Oh.
See, you did it pretty well. And
yeah, guys, being sensitive on the controller for these precise movements is very important. A lot of people, when they play, either they're nervous or they grip the controller very tightly, and everything is a dash. It's a dash attack or a smash. Whereas sometimes these fine movements, notice how lightly I'm moving Ganondorf. So to do something like that turnaround down smash that we spoke of is such a fine movement. And you really need to get used to controlling your characters in this way, because this game does require a lot of precision.
Yep.
Especially for punishing things like rolls that are very time sensitive and frame sensitive for that matter.
Because that move does have range. If you try to hit that move from max range, down smash.
Wow, yeah.
That's a pretty solid range.
Yeah, it is.
And once you get comfortable with that, you can decrease your margin of error with missing it. Like, you just know when it's gonna tip, and that only that comes with experience, and you constantly have to actively play around with trying to hit that move. You might be throwing that down smash out for a good while you're training with it, and you're just gonna get constantly hit. It's gonna make you feel like that move doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work because you're not breaking it in. Once you break it in and you get used to that certain move, you'll make a move like that doesn't really seem that great into something that the opponent has to watch out for. Like, great, I can't even be like 2 or 1.5 character lengths away, and I'm still at risk of death.
Yeah, it's
so
really powerful. So to me, dash attack is
That's really
kind
the
of
best you got.
the easiest movement I can, that I can do upon reaction. For back, what if I had best reaction?
Yeah.
Turn around forward smash, and for in place, depending if they're gonna do a get up attack, I would probably shield and forward tilt, or another one you can do is if they're gonna do a get up attack, is jump and thunder stomp.
That's one of the good ones too. Many of the options you do don't leave yourself open.
Yeah.
So if you dash attack forward, but I ended up rolling behind you,
you're safe.
You're
because
safe.
You just moved out of pressure with the dash attack, and now your opponent's over there. So you're back at neutral, and your opponent still doesn't want to get hit by anything.
Yeah.
So you still create that pressure situation, and Ganon is in good spirits.
So and make sure you factor in when your opponent is low on shield. Like my shield is fresh, right?
Yeah.
Hit me with one up smash.
Okay.
Oh, uncharged.
Okay.
So I'm gonna die real quick and refresh the shield. You're gonna see how low it gets. So that's like midway.
Yeah.
Already, when it's like that, it doesn't even seem like it's that low. But trust me, that's enough for your opponent to say to in his own mind, I can't block this guy anymore. I gotta stay loose.
Yeah.
Guess what he's gonna start doing? He's gonna go in the air.
Ah.
That's when you can start doing short hop up airs and back airs. That's when you change. You switch your mode of attack.
Yeah.
Just for that moment until his
shield comes back and he stays a little more grounded now.
Exactly. And this seems a little weird, but this system works.
Yeah,
this system works. It's like an anime when your opponents, when you see like the ninjas dashing in the forest and you're dashing with them, and when they move in, you move back, and when they move back, you move in. That's how you have to play Ganon, except a lot slower, because he's definitely like the farthest thing from a ninja.
Oh yeah.
So pay attention to that, man. Pay attention, because otherwise you're gonna feel like I can't land a kill. That's you're not paying attention to your opponent and what he wants to do. So land that one solid hit on the shield, and watch what your opponent does. He might start playing a little hectic, running away, grabbing the ledge, and stuff like that.
So let's talk a little bit about covering the ledge options.
Yes, actually, it's a good segue. Speaking of the ledge.
So when your opponent's hanging on the ledge, there are a few things Ganon can do. And one of my favorites is to actually get on the ledge and do a forward get up.
Oh, sorry. Well, that kind of works. Yeah, I did the get up attack.
Yeah, or a get up attack. Either one. This covers 2 out of the 4 ledge options.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to up B to it.
Okay.
And then get up. Yep. And you see how you were able to instantly move because you spaced the back air in a way where it doesn't.
Where I'm going to land on stage and I can act. So it's not
It's not a terrible commitment. So if instead of having gotten up, if they had rolled, you can whiff that back air and immediately dash toward them and see what they're gonna do. You see how, if frame-wise, neutral kind of gets reset even though we're next to each other. So depending on how well your timing is when they're getting up, you don't really have to.
They can down tilt side B.
Exactly.
Depending on
because they might do something that'll just put them in the way for that side B.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Another thing is covering the jump option, which Ganon is very good at, actually. And if you read it correctly or react to it, they're dead.
Yeah, pretty much, and that'll probably kill them at like 100 if you have some rage.
Yep.
And you could also use the full hop down air, and then fast fall.
Yeah.
So if you do that and then fast fall it, and then I accidentally got up, like I will give you an example.
Alright.
So I want you to grab the ledge. When you grab the ledge, I'm gonna do that. I want you to tap forward to get up.
Yeah.
If you had jumped, that would have hit you. But because I rendered myself lagless by fast falling it, I react to you getting up, fast falling it, and then just grab you.
Nice.
Which is something that maybe your opponent might not expect.
And now I'm back off the stage and I have to deal with the situation again.
Or if it was a roll, and I wasn't even that fast with it. But if you timed it right and you do that down air, and you don't see them either jump or get up forward, alright, they might roll side B. Okay. Or if they let go of the edge to re-grab, you might be able to get a stomp.
Okay.
So one of the other ledge guard options that you want to implement, and this is just rarely, is up tilt.
Up tilt when your opponent's on the ledge, because not only are they already feeling pressured, but
if they block it from full shield.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised how many people get up from the ledge and sit there and block like a deer in the headlights.
Yep.
You would think that like, oh, I will never use that move. An opponent will see right through it. Not always.
And do the up tilt. It actually pulls them in. So that's another use of it, that it like, you know, even if they think they're far away enough, it pulls them. And then they're not far away enough, they'll block it, or they'll just stand there and die.
Yep, and if you do it,
even if they do the roll, yeah, if you do it at the right distance, no matter which option they choose, it covers all of them. It covers all of them.
You have to be right around here.
Yeah. It covers all the get up options except for jump.
So I would almost first to say go to the edge and roll back. I think the thing is that it wouldn't happen in that way because you're rolling way sooner than I would have I would have had the kick out already, basically.
Yeah.
So by the time I activate it, you time it. The idea is that you time it in a certain way where, like I'll give you an example. Let me hit you out and just recover with Meta Knight normally.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna roll back. You just grab the ledge. See, even if he rolled there, he would have rolled right into it.
Yeah.
If he got up from the ledge by jumping, all he would have done is just avoid it, and the move actually recovers kind of quick, so I can kind of roll out of the way and be out of danger.
And this is probably the only time you want to use Warlock Punch, if ever you break someone's shield.
Yeah, if you break someone's shield, and if you have that situation, use the turnaround one, because the turnaround one is stronger.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, the turnaround one packs a little bit more percentage punch and knockback. So definitely throw that out only at high percent.
Yep.
That way, if it hits, it's gonna kill them.
So like 80 and up.
I would say like 80 and up. You might want to start throwing that move out because if you do it early, you might get the shield break. But even if you get the shield break, you might not be able to kill them at 20%.
Yeah. So it's not worth it.
So us trying to recover against people now.
Yeah. So Ganon's recovery, although he has limited options, there are really good ways you can mix it up. For example, holding down when using your up B allows Ganon to actually attack people without grabbing the ledge.
Yeah, because you bypass the ledge snap. And you'd be surprised how many people this catches. A lot of people think...
They will wait on the ledge looking to punish you, and they will just get hit by the up B. Another thing is mixing up your up B high and then fast falling down to the ledge.
Yeah, so like throw me forward.
Alright.
So like coming back.
So I'm gonna be looking for you, and now you go up high and you get back on stage, which is the main focus. Ganondorf doesn't really want to fight off stage too much.
Yeah, as long as you can get that ledge grab, you should be kind of good to go at the very least. So you don't always want to recover low and think that up B is gonna save you. That up B is actually not
It can be actually interrupted by many aerials.
You want to be careful about that up B because you get that situation, but it can still get interrupted, and you don't. It's kind of like you know how Rosalina's up B has like no hitbox. It's kind of like a halfway point between a traditional up B like Mark's, which you really just can't interrupt.
Yeah.
And Rosalina's, which you absolutely can. So certain characters will just go out there and like, I don't care about your grab or your little hand.
They will just challenge it and they will win sometimes.
Namely Sheik.
Sheik's
gonna go out there. She doesn't care.
Sheik has no concerns.
Actually, even if you grab her with the up B, a high level Sheik will tech the hit against the stage, double jump, anyway. And then chop you after. Because after you get this, look how much time I have to endure. It's like a 60 frame delay.
Yeah.
Yep, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, so that's not the optimal situation you want.
Oh, I wanted to speak about this. If this is actually talking about recovery, you can actually turn the tides against somebody pretty easily if they're not careful, and you'd be surprised how often you can get this out if you're smart. If I grab the ledge, tap forward, right?
Yeah.
Instantly run off and side B back towards the stage, but hold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull a fast one on somebody. Yeah,
That's a really nice mix-up.
but you have to hold back, otherwise, you know, if you do that, you know, you're either gonna put him in place or put him on the stage. So you have to hold back.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, also, if you side B off the stage, you have to hold back, otherwise you'll die. So, see, if I side B and hold back, I'll grab the stage. But if I don't, if I just don't do anything, I'm just gonna go off.
Yeah. And
So it's not gonna do it for you.
Yeah, so you have to manually hold back after you realize that Ganondorf has fallen off the edge with side B.
Almost like the general idea of Ganon is he's reactive. You can't initiate your own offense. You are not reliably anyway. So it's best to just play him based on what your opponent's doing. Poke him from far. You know, occasional surprise attack with a side B.
Yeah.
And you know, just play very careful with him. Just try not to think that you can just barge in there or just side B anytime you want.
You really can't barge in with him.
His grounded down B, you can use it to cancel the ledge. So the way you want to do it is you want to split the stage. Like if you set the camera to fixed, put your character slightly to one side and then do down B, and you see you get that cancel.
Yeah.
That if you use that mental marker to like divide the stage, you can make your down B safe. The tricky thing is that if it's blocked or if it hits,
it slows down.
Yeah, so I can't get that, and I can get punished. So you kind of want to not so much use that in a offensive or neutral style. You kind of want to use that as a way to throw your opponent off if they're at the edge.
Yeah.
So if it misses, at the very least, you get that cancel.
Oh, another KO, now that we're talking about down B, a KO option I like is using down B when your opponent is horizontal to the ledge and just kicking them when they're right there.
Oh, like off the stage?
Yeah, just doing it from the ledge.
Let me throw you forward.
Okay.
And act as if you're just like normally floating forward.
Okay.
You throw that out occasionally, people honestly don't expect it.
Yeah.
And all it takes is that one moment, especially if they beat DI badly.
Yeah, then that's it.
You can actually kill them at like 60%.
It's a steal.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like I can't believe I got hit by that. And then like you never do it again for like the whole match.
It's not something you want to do often.
You might not use a certain tool more than once, but you don't want to forget about it. You know what I mean? You want to know that at that moment where it's usable, you don't want to hesitate and miss that opportunity just because it's something that you don't use often.
Which is why you want to practice these things. Go into training mode, spend half an hour a day, an hour a day, messing around with these tools, making sure you're comfortable with the turnaround down smash, with the edge cancel down B, with his short hop fast falling back and forth at neutral. You want to be able to access these tools whenever your mind desires. Your hands shouldn't be a limitation for this.
Exactly. That's the way Julian said it just nails it. It's just self-awareness, guys. Don't tunnel vision when you play. Just focus, relax. You know, like I may have mentioned, you know, if you're getting hit and juggled, you know, don't get flustered. Like all that stuff detracts from your ability to use that right tool at the right time because you're too busy thinking about like, oh, I just keep getting hit. You know, you're getting juggled. Oh no, what am I gonna do? If you just take it in stride, and then you know what's funny? Like, there's been situations where I'm playing with Ganon, the opponent will be at 50, I'll be at like at 120. I'm getting juggled in the air. I'm getting tossed around the whole match because I just put in a quick 50, but I'm losing the stock. Bad. Like I'm at 120, they're at 50. We'll be high up. I'll throw a random down B. I'll kill them.
And you'll clutch it out, yeah.
Yeah, and people will be like, oh, I see them real back in their chair, like, oh man, I can't believe I got hit by that. But I wouldn't have been able to see that opportunity, that momentary lapse in their judgment, their placement in the air, if I'm getting juggled, I'm going like, and mashing dodge and getting flustered.
Yeah.
So Ganon is all about that. Ganon is all about staying cool, knowing when it's your time to strike.
And knowing that you can win no matter what.
Yeah, you really can.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, so let's recap for today.
Alright.
What are the key things that people should take away from watching this video? Just, I guess.
Number one, movement.
Alright.
That's the thing we started off.
Getting used to your movement, short hopping, fast falling.
Yep.
Practice this in training mode. If your movement doesn't look like Dire's movement right now, you need to watch this video and go into training mode at the same time and be practicing your Ganon movement.
Yep, learn these.
Pivot
See how
grabs.
I land and instantly that momentary distancing of that dash and having the grab be in place of where you were, that actually matters.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't perfect with their approaches, and it can just mean that one moment where they went in and they caught the grab instead of where your body is.
Yep.
So
Alright.
learn all that good stuff.
So thing number 2.
Is your percentage. Learn what you should be doing at what your percentage is and what the opponent's percentage
So
is.
down throw when your opponent's at low percent. Learn what characters side B into down tilt works on. When you should start fishing for some smashes and down Bs and kill setups. Basically, just get used to the cast and everyone's weight, and when you should start throwing out those KO options.
Exactly. I had something else that I want to say. We'll snip this into areas actually. Also, guys, don't forget about neutral air. It did get buffed in the most recent patch, and what they did with it was not only did they improve the active nature of the hitboxes, they improved the range as well as the power. Like everything just feels like really, really tight knit.
Wow.
So this actually becomes a kill move that you can do. Like if you're jumping, it might kill from here.
Wow.
Almost did.
Yeah, it did.
So it'll kill from like there, and they're not even off the edge. They were just like at the edge. So depending on how you hit it, it might hit both. It might hit only one.
Wow.
Or it might do that. And you see, if you just had like 5% more, that little tippered second hit of that would have killed you.
Wow, but that initial hit's really powerful.
Yeah, that initial hit is really powerful. Oh, and I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. This is my little Easter egg with Ganon. This is a high level technique. Okay. Nobody knows this with Ganon. I guarantee you. I've been doing my research. I've been watching Ganon players. No Ganon players do this.
All
you know
right.
why? Because this was only possible with the new patch.
Huh.
This is a killing option for you guys. I'm gonna say it before I do it, just in case I don't get it out on the first try. You want a full jump, activate neutral air, right after you activate neutral air, fast fall with it, so that you get the soft hit of the first kick and interrupt it, and you're gonna see what it does.
Oh.
Yep. Guess what you get to do out of this?
Up smash?
Nope.
Ooh.
Yep. It actually works. You just have to tip it a certain way. No, I think it's at a lower percent. If you land this at about 90%, it's actually a pretty solid it's actually a pretty solid kill option.
Huh.
There you go. The timing is tight, but it's actually something that you can actually get out depending on how your opponent's spaces. And of course, if you miss the timing and just hit them with the move, then you hit them with the move, you get extra damage. You don't really lose much.
You don't lose anything.
You just put damage. But if you get that,
ooh.
so you can't hit too close.
It's very
Or too
strict.
far. The way I like to use this is at the edge. So you do that, and if the opponent gets up a certain way,
I see.
it's weird. I think you're not DIing, right?
No.
I think you can actually you can also probably you could probably short hop up air after that.
It looks like you can get something. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like your opponent might be able to air dodge, but it's one of those combos where like
You're not gonna expect.
yeah, especially if it's your first time doing it on somebody, and even then it might be one of those combos like Yoshi's jab into up smash. It's not technically a true combo, but your window of dodging it is so tiny that they're probably not gonna get it out.
Yeah.
So I would say stick to this technique at the edge. That way you can get like a quick kill. and you don't waste the opportunity on something that's just not going to kill.
Okay. So I think that's all for today. Yeah, so this is a great video guide. Please share with anyone you might know who is interested in maining the character, or you yourself. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please leave a nice comment. And definitely check out DireonFire's Ganondorf video up on his YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Dire, do you want to talk a little bit about your video?
Yeah, just a quick snippet about it. I basically made a little comedy video dissecting my issues with how the character is designed. You know, if any of you have played any Zelda game, which should be about a few million of you, you could see that Ganondorf is missing a lot of his, projectiles and swords. He's missing a lot of that stuff. So I kind of cover in a very comical way my issues with why he doesn't have those things. So definitely go check that out. It's a fantastic video. And of course, if you like it, throw me a subscribe, throw me a like, a comment. I do respond to comments. So if you want to talk to me there, let's do it.
Nice. So it's been a pleasure working with you today, Dire, and I think the viewers have learned a lot, more than what I could have provided on my own. So thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Later.